Alright, hello. How's everybody doing? I wanted to try something different for this time around, and I just kind of wanted to show you guys how I actually made this minifigure, and also just explain some of the things I went through while doing that. So, I guess just let's get started. So, for starters, I use Mecha Bricks for most of my stuff, and I do have some of the add-ons, and as you can see right now, I am booting up my software, my drawing software, and I'm using the Luke Skywalker face to form this into Axel Low. Thought it turned out pretty good. I'm not too happy with the face. Maybe I'll go back and change it, but as you can see right now, I was doing a little bit of moving and changing to this, and you can actually see a mistake I made. I tried to remesh this. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't really need to, but it kind of crashed my Blender, so I had to restart. It's whatever. This kind of stuff happens all the time. So I went back in, did everything that I did already, and I was like, you know what, it's whatever. I already have the face texture, so let's just get started on the hat. So the hat took some trial and error. As you can see, I did move it around a bunch just to get to where I wanted it to be, and I did a weird thing. I don't know what I was doing right now, just kind of messing up with the lines, but then I had a way easier idea, just do that. And I didn't really like how it was going into him, so I kind of made it cut off at a certain point, which I think actually made it look a lot more real and actually textured on a real minifigure. And now I started the really hard process, or the hardest process of all these minifigures, and that would be making the torso print. So I was lining up the mirror little line thing that Krita has. It's the software I use, and at first I kind of just wanted to replicate the pattern that this minifigure already had, so it would save me time, but I realized how inaccurate that looked. So I kind of just went all in and started recreating, the entire minifigure from scratch, which is whatever. It took a little extra time, but you know what? I like to make these look official. Well, not official, but I like to make them look good. This is my first time, doing commentary, so sorry if I'm stuttering or a little nervous. But, yeah, as you can see, I'm just trying to fill this all in. Started to make the plaid shirt that Axel Low has. It's his most iconic piece in my opinion. Starting to, do the little, darker red squares that he has. And that was actually a weird process to do. I just had to line it up, and sometimes my mirror tool will be off. I don't know if you guys see that in the speed paint, but I guess it's not really a speed paint. I guess it's like a speed render. I don't really know what you would call it. But now I'm just copying and pasting what I made to put on the back of the minifigure, because I do not want to remake all of that. That would take forever, and I did want to save some time here, because as you can see in the corner, it's like 9:44 p.m. and I wanted to go to bed. So now you can see that I just copy and paste that over, and I started working on that gold detailing that he has. Well, not gold detailing, but it's more of a yellow stitch that he has, and it brought the character really together in my opinion. I thought it turned out pretty nice. But I didn't really mirror it or anything. I kind of just went all willy-nilly, and it's the back of the minifigure, so you don't really see it too much anyway. And it kind of gave it more of a, homemade feel. I started moving on to the undershirt, and I actually had some trial and error with this one too. How to make sure this looked, decent. So because of that, you'll see I'm going to be erasing a lot of what I'm making, just because it doesn't look as good. If you check on the Kai Keese model, I had to restart that torso so many times, because getting these torsos right is probably the hardest part of making these minifigures. But you know what? I had fun doing it. Yeah, as you can see, I'm trying new things, because he has that three line strip on the bottom of his jacket. So I was just trying to replicate that as well. I didn't really like how it folded. It didn't really look natural, so I did do some changing to that as well. I got it to a point where I think I liked it a lot more, and then I realized that I'm going to have to make it go up a little more, just so, it would actually texture correctly. And now you can see I'm just, perfecting the little imperfections that I was making. And I think, I made the line a little thicker, because it just looked a little too thin for me. Oh, and then, of course, I added the buttons. They weren't consistent, so I just decided to copy and paste them. That was the easier way. And I got really lucky with this, because the mirror tool actually doesn't do copy and paste, so me filling that in, that was just lucky. So then I started coloring this all in. Yeah. And I didn't realize this at first, but he's kind of wearing this weird short shirt. It's kind of funny that he's wearing that. Oh, and yeah, and now that I'm doing the undershirt details, and I think it also turned out okay. I wasn't really happy with that dark blue, but I was already too far in, so it's whatever. It didn't really change much anyway. But yeah, now I'm loading up another shirt because I needed those zippers, and drawing zippers and belts is so annoying, for me at least. It's just difficult for me, I don't know why. I thought this belt turned out okay. It's not insanely accurate, but I think it works. And I was trying to make it like bend with the torso, but I just decided that being straight was the best option. And honestly, I think the torso turned out okay. I'm just fixing up some final things, just real quick. And then, yes, yeah, he does have his rock hard abs peeking through him, so I wanted to replicate that in a good way. I did that with the Soul Bad Guy minifigure too. And he's wearing like a weird crop top-ish shirt. It's shorter, so you can see his stomach. And I wanted to also replicate that, but I realized those accents that show the abs are a little too dark, so I just made it match his skin tone a little better, because he is a pasty white man from England. Oh, and yeah, and then I added his little, I think those might be his underwear. Yeah, it took some time to adjust. You know, I kept going up and down, it's whatever. Until I got it to a point where I actually really liked it. And then I had to move on to the back. I didn't really want to do the whole torso peeking out, so I just decided to make the whole thing, you know, oh, I guess, well, that's my bad. I guess I just kind of went full with the band. Oh yeah, okay, I don't know what I was saying, but yeah, I just went on with the full, black and orange stripe on the back. You wouldn't even see the torso. Just, it didn't really feel necessary. You don't really see the back of these minifigures anyway. And then it was clipping to the sides of him, so I did have to do some cleaning up, just so it wouldn't be on the side. I don't really like it when that happens, and of course I'm gonna have to delete that little palette I have up there eventually, which I do, because it's just kind of weird being on his minifigure. And then of course I started adding the shadows and the smaller detailing on his minifigure. I used to not do this, and it made the minifigures look really flat, so I'm glad I figured that I can do this, and it looks a lot nicer. Yeah, adding the shadows and the buttons and stuff just really pulls the whole minifigure together. And then I actually, I made his stomach a little darker, as if there was a shadow casted on it, which I think actually looks pretty good. I like it like that. It doesn't make it so in your face, at least. So yeah, I think that's the torso finish, and I started moving on to the belt, and I did have to change those pants color because it just wasn't so accurate. I don't know what I'm doing, looking at dates apparently. Okay, so now I'm going to, yeah, I was going to the belt, and I had some trouble with this belt. I don't know what was going on, but the textures just weren't getting the color that I wanted. I don't know what could have changed that. Maybe it's because I really don't know. I could have just been on one layer. That could have been the issue. But I was just having some trouble with that. And then I started trying to make that English flag little fanny pack thing that he has. A little, yeah, on the strap, which is on his waist. And I was going along with it, and honestly, I really didn't like how it looked. And you'll see, yeah, I kind of messed that flag up. That looks horrendous. Didn't really like how it looked. So what I decided to do was, first of all, just erase it. And I tried doing that carabiner that he also has on his belt, but it just didn't look good. So I just left his belt as normal. And my friend really wanted me to see the Sonic trailer, so I took a little intermission. Sorry about that. But here's the Sonic picture. Here's the Sonic trailer in 15 times speed. So isn't that cool? So anyway, I went back, and I started trying to figure out this belt because I didn't like how it looked gray, because it is a brown belt. But you know what? I think I just folded. I couldn't figure it out, and it was getting late, so I was just like, alright, whatever. I checked to see if I'd have the same issue with these pants, but I didn't. I don't know what the belt was doing. So yeah, now I'm just doing pant details. And the pant details were really easy. It wasn't too much. I did make it opaque just so I could see where everything's lining up. Out of that little text thing that he has, and I added that belt buckle that he has on his pants for some reason. Oh, and the zipper. Of course, you can't forget how many zippers this guy has. It's a little much, if you ask me. But yeah, now I'm just moving around. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I added a little cursive text that he has on it. I don't really know what it says, but I added it just because it made the minifigure look complete. And then I decided to make that fanny pack actually on his leg. And I made that on a different layer because I wanted just to mirror the original texture over on his second leg. I didn't want to redraw everything. So as you can see, I made that little fanny pack. And I made the white a little darker because the bright white was just sticking out way too much. And I think it turned out a lot better. And this is actually me figuring out how to find hex codes and just color drop them in. I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out, but you know, here we are. But yeah, so now I mirrored that texture over there, and I just had to do the arms. The arms were really simple, so I didn't really have too much problem with that. Yeah, as you can see, I'm just... what am I doing? Yeah, I'm just doing the strips that he has on there. There's like yellow peeking through because the original base texture was yellow. I don't know if I figured that out. I think if you look closely, you might be able to see it on the finished render. But, I mean, doesn't really matter. You can barely see it from a distance. But I'm rigging the figure up, and yeah, that turned out good. That's it before I did anything. That was me messing around with some textures, and you can see the little render processing there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think it turned out okay. I don't think it turned out awful. I'm actually pretty proud of this minifigure. This and my main minifigure are my two favorite ones so far. They're really good in my opinion. But yeah, I thought it turned out pretty good, and I hope you guys enjoyed this new form of commentary. Well, explain... Sorry, this new form of commentary where I explain what's going on. I'm new to this, I'm sorry, but yeah, I thought this was a really fun idea. And I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you for watching.